Hello, Wharton students. Today we are going to solve free response question number 1 from 2024 AP Statistics exam. So let's start with the problem statement. So it says a large exercise center has several thousand members aged 18 to 55 years and several thousand age members aged 56 and older. So we have two groups here. One is age between 18 to 55. So I would say this one is P1, and age group 56 and older, this is another group. I'll call this P2. So the manager wants to know if there is a difference in the interest in online fitness classes between these two age groups. So they randomly sampled 170 center members from P1 and 230 members from P2. Okay. And they asked each sample member if they would be interested in taking online fitness classes. So this is a result of survey. I would summarize it here, this paragraph here. So 51 out of 170 members expressed interest in P1 and 79 over 230 members in P2 expressed interested in this. So we have to test this if there's a significant difference between these two proportions in age groups. Our hypothesis are two things, right? H0, which is a null hypothesis. This is P1 minus P2 is 0. So there is no significant difference between the proportions of these two age groups. And H1, P minus P2 is not 0 because it means there is a significant difference between the proportions. So we have to find out which one is true. And one thing we have to notice that since this is a random sample here, we know that this follows a normal distribution. And since we're comparing two different samples and both of these follows normal distribution, we can apply z-test. And there are three conditions that we need to check before we conduct the z-test. The first one is randomness. So we have to make sure the samples are random and independent. And we already know that they are random because it clearly states that there are random samples. And the second condition is 10% condition. Each sample size is less than 10% of the population. We have to figure out later. So we have to, I'll just say 10% rule here. And the third one is large counts. If n is random, we have to follow that NP and 1 minus NP should be at least 10 for both groups. So we have to check these three conditions, and then we can apply z-test. For age P1 group between 18 and 55, among sample size 170, the proportion of this was 51 over 170, right? So this is 51 who were interested in online classes. And the other people, 170 over 170 minus 51 over 170, these people are not interested, 119, right? These people are not interested in the online fitness. And for P2, the age 56 plus, their sample size was 230, and our proportion was 79 over 230, which is 79, who expressed interest here, and 230 multiplied by 1 minus. So I would just say 1 minus 79 over 230. This is 151, who are not interested, right? And since all these values are greater than 10, we are allowed to test the z-test. So let's calculate the test statistic z, which is z equals P1, P2. This is the estimated minus 0. We know that this 0 comes from the fact that the true population would be equal. So this is the condition of H0. And over PC, this is a combined proportion, right? I'll calculate it later. This is a combined proportion. This 1 minus its proportion, who are not interested in the online fitness, over 1 over N1, the sample size, and N2. So let's substitute the values. The P1, it was 51 over 170. So this is 0.3. And 79 over 230, this was 0.3435. We have to calculate the combined proportion here. So combined proportion, we calculate this as 51 plus 79 over 170 plus 230, right? So we were combining these two, P1 and P2, and this equals to 130 over 400. And this, which means this is 0.325, right? So we substitute, so now we are ready to substitute all these values. So now we know that P1 is 0.3 minus 0.3435 minus 0 over square root of, so PC, the combined proportion, we just calculated as 0.325 over 1 minus 0.325 over, what's the sample size of N1? This is 170. And the sample size of P2 is N2. So this is 230, right? So if you calculate this value here, we get the test statistic, which is negative 0.92. So the condition to reject the null hypothesis, we have to find the p-value that is corresponding to z equals 0.92, which is the p-value when z is negative 0.92 is about, so p-value, I'll say p-value is 0.3576. Our significant level here given by alpha 0.05. So since our p-value is 0.3576, this is greater than our significant level given as 0.05, right? So we fail to reject the null hypothesis. So we fail to reject the null hypothesis. This means we do not have significant evidence in proportion of a difference in the proportion of test center members aged 18 to 55 and those aged 56 and older who will be interested in taking 2 online classes. That's it for today's video. I hope this detailed walkthrough helps you understand to perform the 2 sample Z tests. And if you have any questions, please drop in the chat and I'll see you next time. Thank you.